I'm going to continue on this one. This is my dad, Edward VIII, who never married Wallace Simpson. An imposter did. They took him down with character assassination. And this man, Roosevelt, deliberately appointed Joe Kennedy ambassador to England in 36 to take down my father, who became king then. I have to wonder about my grandfather's death, or was it murder back in 35? This is in 39 when I was born, and they're planning my kidnapping. Now here's Roosevelt again, with called well, it's Elizabeth's mother. She's a Rothschild. And this is Roosevelt's mother here, and this is George, my uncle, Elizabeth's father, who's illegal, who helped take down his own brother, and he works for the Illuminati. They all do. And this is Mrs. Roosevelt, who was so much a part of this mess and of the my kidnapping. I have a picture in here where Wallace Simpson in late October of 41 is shaking the hands with Mrs. Roosevelt. Job well done. I was brought to Moulton, Alabama in early spring of 41. And this is 41 in October when they're shaking hands. So they pulled it off. All right, they didn't know I was going to be born. You know, my father and mother were older, so they didn't expect that. They thought when they got rid of my dad and my mom, why, that was it. So here's the Giffords, and she's for mind control. I'm going to pick up, not for mind control, I don't mean that. I want to pick up where I left off. Nancy Pelosi had her up there a couple of days ago, along with Nancy Pelosi and Chuckie Schumer, that are somehow want Trump to stop not building the wall. And they don't give a solution for all the immigrants or illegals coming across the border. And they'll come across in droves, and if you want to call it herds or stampedes, people will, when you start letting any across. It doesn't have anything to do with this, if they're carrying Ebola, which, by the way, there's a story behind who created Ebola and sent it to South Africa, but God help me, I don't want to get into that right now, so I've done it before. So here we've got these people coming across the border. It has nothing to do with if they're drug dealers or anything. It's illegal, the act of coming across the border. So here you got, they're just standing up there, and here's the words that really bother me. Plus, why aren't these people, now I'm going to confuse, I guess, Nancy Pelosi, Chuckie Boy, Schumer, they've suddenly drawn Gabby Gifford up there. She's against guns. She wants gun control. She was shot. She was a congresswoman. I want to ask you people out there, why? These people get paid, and I'm going to get into that in a second or a minute, the salaries of these people, which you can Google, their wealth. Why all these people who have been in your Senate, House of Representatives have not told you anything about mind control murders, how all this is done. They haven't told you about me. Well, if they told about the mind control murders, they might have to tell about me and how to prove it. But they already know. They've known about my kidnapping since day one and the takedown of my father. It's the ransom monies and treaties and etc. have been held, is my understanding, through the State Department. So now I want to get to this. If she doesn't know about how she was shot, the gun didn't do it. The mind control's the weapon. They don't need to be paid all these enormous salaries. And this is her husband, Mark Kelly. He's a twin to Scott Kelly, and they're astronauts, NASA. And you're going to tell me they don't know? These people are so educated and have all this money and this power of reaching the press And yeah, they can't tell the truth. They want to take your gun away, like Press Secretary Brady when he was shot, and Reagan was shot, supposedly. Brady was shot. Okay, they wanted to have gun control, and they're still advocates for it. The wife, I believe, is still alive. He may be. And that was when John Hinckley Jr. was put in prison, and St. Elizabeth's outside mental. They put him in mental hospitals. He's a victim of mind control. And Reagan had a vest on, so you think all this stuff you're getting there is true. I don't know if he actually got shot, but he had a vest on. He knew it was going, bulletproof, and yeah, he did. Anyway, Hinckley did get out and was able to go home, and I think he's there now. But he spent most of his life in prison for a crime he didn't commit. My question is, why aren't these people going after mind control rather than your guns? Because when you take your guns away and all these other freedoms that are going to happen when the overflow of immigrants come into this country, like they've done to Great Britain, to Germany, to France, Greece, Turkey, etc., you're not going to have anything left. Then you're going to reach out, and there's martial law, and your global government, your Illuminati, are totally in control. They are now, anyway. So I want to get to this. They focused on, I hope I got across what I meant about the mind control murders and why your Congress has never told you that. They had MK Ultra up before Congress and turn them right back loose. And who's really the criminal in here? These people are getting paid to be your Congress, your Senate, your House of Representatives. They're elected. They're already wealthy. And this is what I just looked up, the wealth. And Mark Warner was the former governor of Virginia, and he's one of the wealthiest, and he sits on the Judicial or the Intelligence Committee. I can't go back and look it up right at the moment, but one or the other, and some of the other governors from here. I wish they would be my friends. I'm not sure they are at all. Anyway, here's how Chuckie Boy, and all the press is covering it, and CNN knows all of this. My husband and I went to him with a letter from the FBI when I'd done the book in Atlanta about mind control, and Larry Flint was shot. I'm just throwing all that in so you listen to it, hopefully. I'm not getting anything out of this, really. I'm going to lose my train of thought. CNN knew all about this. They knew about the Wayne Williams. He's in state prison for murdering 2 black children. They supposedly continued to be murdered after they shut the book on it. So it's the people in the press that let it happen. They really do. Anyway, CNN has known all this about my kidnapping. The Atlanta Journal was owned by Hearst. I didn't know it. Patty Hearst, the connections to my kidnapping. They all know it. Your press is controlled just like Trump's told you. Now I want to get to this. Is Pelosi and company, who are Illuminati, there's no doubt. Your press is it's controlled. The United Nations, after they took my father down. Oh, my God, please. Okay, let me get back to this. I'm going to lose my train of thought. That hurts. And my mom, what they've done to my children and country. And the Americans are having it done to them. It's like, wake up, you know? I want to jump back to this, and if I can jump around, maybe you can follow me if there are people that care, but if you don't react to it and have something done, it's no good. There's more to all this. The NASA was Huntsville, where they brought me near there, Moulton, Alabama, and they brought over Warner Von Braun, a beautiful man. That was part of the deal to keep me alive. Okay, so that's your space center there. Okay, these are astronauts, Mark and Scott Kelly. And she's was shot, and she's for gun control, not saying anything about mind control. Her and Pelosi, they're up there, and all this media attention, and it's about calling. And here's one about the immigrants coming across. This is so ludicrous and ridiculous. Okay, they're attacking Trump's. I know I'm jumping around here. Mental. That's how you do it. You attack their mental state. I bet you Nancy Pelosi, not one up there, could withstand the bombardment and crap that has been thrown against Donald Trump. I hope it's not good guy, cop, bad cop, because I don't want Donald Trump to be part of the Illuminati. I pray he's not. Anyway, here's how they describe him. Is throwing temper tantrums. And I want to give you a part of the definition of temper tantrum. Okay, hold on here. Okay, temper tantrum. It's, this is just part of it, but it's a meltdown, emotional outburst, usually associated with children, those in emotional distress, characterized by stubbornness, crying, screaming, violent outbursts, defiance, anger, ranting, resistance to attempts to for pacification. Some cases, and I lost the other page. Is that what he's doing? Excuse me, that wasn't what I got out of it. What I got out of it was he was trying to do exactly what he said and stop the invasion coming over, the illegal immigrants coming in. These people have no answer. They're just standing up there calling him names, and the press, you turn on CNN, and even some of Fox. I couldn't believe it. So I bet President Trump, if he's not a part of them, and this is all an act in the end time, and it would be, the immigrants come across and they're going to, or this thing about the shutting down the government, which he's having to do, not just to get his way. This is his job. So there's going to be chaos going on one way or the other, and they'll call out martial law probably. And that's about the end of it, I think. Now, end times, I guess we see. I was told by one person, and some of these, I mean, I was privy to some information for whatever reason, okay, and all this. When I was up in D.C. at one point, it was supposed to be a magnetic pole shift. And I don't know if that's how it comes to end times, but I do know, and all you have to do is listen to a couple of the programs that Clyde Lewis doesn't go and tell all the truth of it. He's not going to tell about me and my dad. They got to make the United States out to be the good guys. He's not going to tell that part. He'll skirt around it. But George Norris seems to have a good program. That's the only place you're going to hear anything about. Jesse Ventura told this, and then he had to move to Mexico. I'm not sure he's back, but he was the wrestler, and he was also the governor of Minnesota twice. And he was telling about mind control and the murder of John Lennon, who's the Beatle, the British, and Mark David Chapman, who has ties right here to Roanoke, Virginia. It gets weird. Shooting Lennon and killing him, and he was under mind control. But anyway, Jesse Ventura was allowed to photograph at Hot Springs or Little Rock, I can't remember, and remember this is Hillary and Bill's home near there, Hope, Arkansas. Well, he was president, and she tried to be. I think she was kind of acting with him, co-hosting the presidency. Anyway, I don't know. Now I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, Ventura was allowed, though, and this was up on the CNN, HLN. It's owned by CNN. CNN knows all of them know the truth. But anyway, Ventura was able to go into either Hot Springs or Little Rock, into the rocks and in there, and actually show how they had security. They had a high-rise hotel. They had where you keep grain and food and seed and residency for all these highfalutin Illuminati. And that includes, I bet you, everybody in your Senate and House of Representatives. So, Congress. So where does that leave you and me? Out in the cold, right? Scrambling to live. Because evidently they know what's coming. Well, they're part of it. So you don't have to wonder in this. They are the Illuminati, and that's the end times that is prophesied. Hiding themselves, and there's also underground in other places where they've got places they're going to when this comes down. However it happens, whether it's a pole shift or a knockdown of your electricity and all that, your grids, by sun, whatever they're saying, is probably going to hit. However it happens, they think they've made and secured their well-being. You know, they can't believe in God then. Unless they think, I don't know, what do they think he's going to do? He's going to condone their behavior? Anyway, I want to get back to something else, I think, here. I told about that, and I had put down what I wanted to say. One of the things, though, if Gabby Gifford, Pelosi, Sessions, John Sparkman from Alabama, your Illuminati, Elizabeth is over there illegal, and everybody bows to her and thinks she's tough cookie. They're not even common criminals. They're biggest criminals going. This is going off. Okay. I guess part of it is, as you can look up, this is going to go off in a minute, the wealth of the top senators and representatives. Wealth. And see how much they all have. And Pelosi's up there, way up there too. Her and her husband. So I bet they'll have good digs to live in when this happens, because they are all part of the Illuminati, the Freemason, global government, NASA. Well, NASA might be a good word to say. It's going off here. United Nations, what I meant to say. So I'm not going to go, I can't, through all that. I was going to, if you care to, you can see their wealth. And current list of current members of the U.S. Congress by wealth. Okay? And I'm sitting here, and I don't know if it's doing any good at all. And I certainly would love for the truth to be told about my father and these hideous crimes that are still being told. That's what happens to a good man when he did the right thing.